Hello YouTube! I am Pinstar and this is Pinstar Plays Production Line. So Production Line just came out. It's been made by a developer named Klifsky. He is the owner of Positech, a indie game publisher, who was actually the publisher of Big Pharma, although the developer of Big Pharma, Tim Wixell, is not part of this particular game. It does borrow some ideas from it. In a good way, not in a copying way. It is basically a game about efficiency. You are a factory manager of a car manufacturing company, and it is up to you to manufacture the cars in the most profitable and efficient manner possible while researching new goodies to cut your costs and also increase the attractiveness of your cars to the general buying public. So let's dive in, shall we? We'll just do the small factory mission here. Alright, let's pause here. So, sort of like Big Pharma, and this is where I was saying it kind of gets its sort of an inspiration from. You've got certain number of slots on the factory, input slots and output slots, where you can import and export your goods. In this case, the raw materials for cars, and then for the exports, the cars themselves. Now, as I said, I've gone through the tutorial here, so I think it's time we just start setting some stuff up. Now, as far as how do you build a car, what do you need to build a car? Well, he's got it laid out in order here for what you need. So the first thing you need to do to start building a car is to assemble the chassis. And as you can see within there, you can see there's a bunch of sub-steps that are all done at this station, fitting the rear axle, fitting the front axle, the drive shaft, undercarriage, fuel tank, blah, blah, blah. The whole process, if you take a look there, takes 12 minutes, 52 seconds. Pay attention to that, because here, my friends, we're going to be getting into some Six Sigma Kaizen level efficiency tracking here. This is something known as tact time. I should know. I'm a Six Sigma green belt. Fear me. Anyway, so I'll explain tact time in a minute. So the next step here is we have to fit the body, and as you can see, there's a lot more steps to it. And it takes 31 minutes and 40 seconds to take one car and go all the way through there. Obviously, it's not real life minutes, but it's simulated in the game. The next step is even longer: painting. Paint the dry coat, paint the undercoat, dry the undercoat, paint the finish, dry the finish. It takes 34 minutes and 24 seconds each. Next we got the fit engine, do all that good stuff to it, 22 minutes, fit the accessories, 14 minutes, and then fit electronics, 2 minutes, quality check is 5 minutes. So we need to balance things out so that we can get a nice and thorough and constantly filling production here. So let's start with the chassis assembly here. There we go, rotate. So we're going to put the chassis assembly here. Alright, so we need an axle. I wish it would tell me precisely the number of stockpile-y things here. Because one of the things I want to do here is I want to get a parts stockpile like put over here. Oh yeah, let's get the resource importer. This is what this is how the car parts are going to be entering our lot here. There we go. So that is hooked up. And we have to tell the stockpile what oh yeah, copy from slot, chassis assembly. Alright, that makes it easy. So this is going to stock exactly what we need for a chassis assembly to make sure that we always have the parts on hand. So let's get started here. And then we're going to move, we're going to get a conveyor belt here going. Let's get another supply stockpile. This one is going to be for the fit body. Now the fit body, because it takes longer, I'm going to build 2 of them. So between the 2 of them, they'll be able to make, they'll be able to spit out a car basically every 15 minutes, which is pretty close to the takt time of the chassis assembly. So, yeah, I think we have to go through there. And this one will copy fit body slot. So now we're conveying and importing all sorts of things over here. This is the car being red here shows that it's not being worked on yet because we have insufficient resources. But once we get all the resources in there, then we'll be good. This car should come up over here to the other station, so that can be worked on as well. And it can, yeah, now that it's getting dibs on the resources here. So after here, we got a paint, and and once again, we're going to need 2 of these to keep up with demand. So we'll get paint here, conveyor belts. We'll move these cars along 1 to 1. We'll get another supply stockpile up here. There we go. And now here comes all the buckets of paint. Yeah, so these all have stockpiled items on here, so oh yeah, copy from slot, paint. By keeping these close at hand, we ensure that there's no slowdowns here. All right, after the paint, we got to fit the engine. Now, fitting the engine here, we could go for double on the fit engine. Yeah, see, this is obnoxiously long. Like it's shorter than the others, but we still kind of need 2 of them. But they're expensive. The fit engine is 109,000. The only thing that's more expensive is the fit body. So if we only do 1 fit engine, we slow the whole process down. But you know what? We might be able to make up for that with some research. Now this will be a bottleneck here unless we make 2 of these. But if we make, yeah, you know what, we don't have the cash for too many redundancies here. So both of these are going to feed into here. We'll get another supply stockpile right here. And, oops, and we'll tell you to copy fit engine. Okay, next we're going to need fit accessories. And this one, since it's shorter than the fit engine one, we don't need to hem and haw about this one. It'll be fine. There we go. We will get, however, a stockpile in here. And copy fit accessories. All right. So we got car here, car here, car here. The chassis are going a little bit faster than these guys. Oh yeah, one other thing we should do here is get our facilities, research offices. Let's put them up here. Yeah, I know. Actually, before I spend too much money on that, Well, here, let's choose something to pick. Well, the paint is currently our biggest thing here. So our biggest time waster. So why don't we research paint specialization? We will be good at painting our cars. And you'll see, and I'll show you what the net effect of doing this is shortly. But we got to finish our production line so we can actually start selling some cars, making a little income here. So we had fit accessories, so we need to fit electronics. This is a 2-minute step. I'm not worried about it at all. I'm not even worried about the building a stockpile because I don't think there's that many electronics to fit. And then finally we have a quality check. This doesn't even require resources. We just got to route the thing through it. And then lastly we have export, which needs to be at that slot. And we will move you down here. And that, my friends, will get the cars going where they need to. Alright, so we got a car that finally made its way up here. Not too shabby looking. Got a couple of people just standing around while the robots do all the work. Skynet in progress here. Alright, good. Yeah, get those sufficient resources, please. Yeah, I think once we get once all these stockpiles, this backlog finishes itself, they'll be able to bring stuff to it, and we won't be having so many insufficient resources problems here. All right, and we are running low on money. That's to be expected. We haven't sold anything. We might need to take out a loan. The one failure condition for this game, and this is interesting, the second you run out of money, you're done. You're gone. Bankrupt. Vamoose. You cannot run out of money. That is the failure condition here. So, and now granted, you can take out loans. That's allowed. And even though that, you're in the hole, you're not considered negative cash. You just can't have negative cash. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on that. I'd like to have gotten another one of another researcher, but I am not sure that is possible. All right, we finally got one out of the accessories. We are fitting the electronics here. We're going to sell our first car, people. I can taste it. I can taste it. And I like that color. I wish my car was that color. Maybe the birds would stop pooping on it. All right, we'll inspect it. Thank you. Hopefully, please don't be that scene from Made in America where they drive off the lot and the wheels fall off. That wouldn't be cool. But no, I think we got our stuff together here. All right, so it stops here for I guess one last checkover or delivery to our dealerships. It's going to pop up here so we can name the thing. Unnamed design. No. Let's call it the New Jersey Road Rage Special. And let's do a sale. Let's do a 5% premium. It's a cool car, people. We got to let the public know that they're getting a cool car. All right, so now we just need to, build up our cash here a little bit more. We can see some of the charts here, and this is the kind of efficiency geek things that I was talking about. What the percentage time of your vehicles are running. They're waiting for the next vehicle. That's our big bottleneck, followed by waiting for resources. See, these things are considered waiting, which is why they're slowed down. That one's considered waiting. Yeah, thankfully these things seem to be keeping up fairly well. Fairly well, maybe? Sort of? Kind of? Alright, we got our next car coming down the pipeline. Nice red one. Another aqua, red, aqua, and red. So those are the only colors these things come in. How are we doing on our research? Yeah, we need more research departments to have any sort of a... Yeah, but that one costs 49,000 and will increase our expenses. Let's take a look at loans, because I don't want to bore you guys to death. Actually, you know what? I'll just crank up the speed while our factory does its thing, and we slowly make money, a modest amount of money. Oh, this, by the way, is our power consumption, and we are producing none of it and are consuming it and buying it off of the grid, and that's expensive. That's probably what's eating into a significant amount of our profits. After we finish researching this whole paint department thing, or this advanced paint thing, I'm going to research power plants so we can build our own damn generators. So yeah, this thing is outproducing these two things by a pretty decent margin, but this thing's also bottlenecking us. This engine, this lack of engine thing. It might behoove me to get a second one of those. Yeah, I'd have to take out a loan for it, but all in the name of efficiency, of course. How are we on research? Almost there. Our one department is working hard. We're pretty much breaking even by the looks of it. Maybe I'm making a tiny profit. But it's keeping us where we need to be so we can advance our technology. To implement said technology is probably, I'll probably take out that loan. So here's, let's get power production here. It's crazy expensive otherwise. All right, so now one of the things that we did prior to this was we would, paint. Each of these stations would do all of the painting things all in one station. So the car would go in there, it would get painted, the undercoat would dry, then the overcoat would be painted, and the overcoat would dry. All of that is what takes all that time. Now we've split that into sub-steps. We can build different facilities for painting instead. We can do one that dries the undercoat, or paints the undercoat, dries the undercoat, paints the finish, dries the finish. And this one's only got a 14-minute delay. We could actually just make a single line of these things. So what we're going to do here is we're going to sell these two monstrosities here. I am still keeping these two things separated. But what we're going to do is we're going to just get a long string of stuff here. We're going to get a paint undercoat, a dry undercoat, a painting of the finish, a drying of the finish, and that is our painting. Now we have rerouted that. Also, we need to get our resources in here. Ah, crap. What did I just delete? Game! I didn't want to delete that. I gotta watch my money here. If it gets too low... I got one car in the show. All right, good. The car's sold. So here we got a car. It gets painted here, and these parts go quickly These carts go really quickly. So it goes to the dry thing. Meanwhile, the next car could be getting painted here. Now this one's going to be waiting for the car behind it. Yeah, this is still our big bottleneck. So our next investment is going to be either a second one of those or splitting out the engine parts. I think I might split out the engine parts, have them be their own row of things, so they're not bottlenecking us so much. So yeah, that one's drying the finish. So each of these take about 14 minutes, which is about the tack time of here, and what's about the tack time of these two things, the fit body things. So that's making that a bit more efficient. Alright, I'm still... If I can avoid taking out a loan, I'll avoid taking out a loan. If our current car production can keep us afloat. The problem is the increased efficiency from here is not translating it because this is still the bottleneck. So I'm just going to keep going until we come up with a new technology for the generators anyway. All right, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to be aggressive. How are we going to be aggressive? We're going to get a loan. Let's see what we can get here for loans. Nice. We want a nice big one. 600K for that thing. I'll take it. So 600K, we can now crank out some more research offices. And let's also replace that supply stockpile here. Copy from slot, and that's the engine. Granted, that might be going away once we split that out, but I digress. Yeah, we gotta get the power production under our roof, and then we'll switch over to the engine specialization here. And building all those power plants is going to take some cash too, which is why I went for the bigger loan. How we doing? Yeah, it's cooking. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I told you this was going to be the backup. And it pains me not to be researching that right now, but once we get our power under our hands, then it will absolutely be our next thing to research here. All right, maximum speed. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, let us get to engine specialization. And let us build some power plants. Same idea. These, it doesn't matter where these go. And each of these make 1,800. So we just want to get it to where we don't make any money from selling power. So we just basically want to build enough to fulfill our own demands most of the time. Like if we have to buy a little bit of power, that's okay. I'm good with this level of power plantage. This will definitely increase our profits because we're not going to be paying out the wazoo for all these. And then once we get our fit engine thing, now this has a lot more parts to it, but that's okay. By spreading them out that there we go, excellent. Let's get more robots. Those can be like little site helpers here. Okay, so now we delete that. And yeah, unfortunately we lose a car to it, but that's okay. I don't want to delete all these because then we're going to be losing a lot of stock. Alright, so first we've got fit powertrain. Well, maybe I will. I hate to lose some of these cars, but it must be done in the name of efficiency. Powertrain, followed by the radiator, and you have to go in order. That's the order that they have to put them in the car. Exhaust. We actually, hang on, let's take a look at these. So 2 minutes, that's quick. 3 minutes, that's quick. 3 minutes. Wheel assembly is 6 minutes, 7 minutes. So these are all under 15 minutes. So we can crank these through lightning fast. Now what was this? That was the fit exhaust. So this is fitted wheel assembly. And fit steering assembly. Alright, and we get the conveyor going here. And let's get our resource doodad here. What did I just... I don't like that right-clicking cells and also cancels the thing that you're on. Okay, so now this should proceed a lot faster. And we should be able to crank through this, so that shouldn't be the bottleneck anymore. What then will become the bottleneck? I'm thinking it might be these. But yeah, we certainly have all the different backlogs here taken care of. Yeah, get those resources in there. Yeah, now, yeah, these two are the backlog-ier ones. So if you wanted to, you could do, like, have 2 sets of the longer ones and have this whole thing get down to a takt time of, like, 3 minutes. But we're not quite at a takt time of 3 minutes. We're still hovering around a takt time of about 14 minutes because the fit accessories one is still around 14 minutes. The our one chassis assemble is around there, and these fit bodies are about 14 minutes, 15 minutes or so. I think these are, in fact, the next roadblocks, as it were. But this is no longer a, strictly speaking, bottleneck. So we can now get these going at full speed. And yeah, these things just need to speed the heck up. Especially with this insufficient resource malarkey. What is this? Why is there insufficient resources? Come on, parts. Now, granted, there is one limitation in that our import slot can only import parts so quickly. Now, granted, we can research technologies to assist with that. But now we should be getting our parts going a lot faster. But yeah, these things are getting kind of hungry now that they're not really waiting. But yeah, this whole thing is full of built up, backed up chassis. So making these things go faster is going to be our next priority. Now, granted, the fit body is not only expensive, but yeah, each of these takes quite a bit. I mean, this one's 20 minutes, the body frame, the roof, and the doors. So the body frame by itself is still a pretty nasty thing, even if we research the tech to break it out. We could also research the tech for making importing go faster. Right, so yeah, we need those better robots because I think, yeah, we can get extra robots here. Just give us flat efficiency upgrades, which will make these go faster. And while it won't completely eliminate them as a bottleneck, it'll increase the takt time of the whole group here because they are the slowest part of it. Now, takt time, think of it like you ever think of those those old time slave ships with like 15 oars on each side and a bunch of slaves chained up on each side, and you got one big burly guy banging a drum in the middle to try and keep time, and every time he bangs the drum, one side rows and the next side rows and the other side rows. Well, how fast he can bang the drum, mainly how fast the guys can row, is tact time. You can only do it as fast as the slowest guy, otherwise the boat's going to go in circles. So all about this whole game is about managing tact time, but also combining that with adding extra steps to spiffy up the car, give you new shiny things to play with. All right, let's speed things up here a little bit to see if getting those extra robots upgrade will be a useful addition for us for both of these, rather than replacing them, because even replacing them with the broken out steps, you still have that one station that's a 20-minute chunk, so you couldn't single thread that because it would still be the thing that slows down tact time. All right, come on, research. What are you doing? All right, you're almost done. All right, next research project, improved efficiency. Ooh, faster resource imports. Let's do improved efficiency. Okay, so now we are going to upgrade these bad boys with extra robots 1 and extra robots 2. So now these things are going to be 50% faster, provided they don't run into insufficient resource malarkey. What is this? Oh, the fit accessories is starting to be a little bit of a bottleneck. Well, you know what? We can throw those robots on there too. Make that 10% faster. Those extra robots tech is a useful one. All right, we still have this as a backup, but we just upgraded them. And they still have these freaking resource issues. And again, it's all about the import speed. Oh, have you officially caught up? We might need another resource supplier stockpile closer. I mean, we'll still take that other one, but let's just keep a lot of resources on hand. And copy from fit body. Oh yeah, here, let's give you a little shortcut. That way you can just cross the gap there and get there faster. There we go. Get those resources in there so we can stop having these freaking little herky-jerk resource shortfalls. Alright, yeah, here comes the flood of parts. But yeah, I think otherwise I think we're pretty good, except here, which is where our other bottleneck is. But it's not too bad of a bottleneck. It's just like a one-car bottleneck, and it actually might be working through it depending on how the timing goes here after I put the upgrade in. Yeah, what is... All right, so we're down to 28 minutes, 47 seconds with those robots here. And we're losing waiting for... we're only losing 6% to waiting for resources, which isn't too bad in the grand scheme of things. All right, another car going off to market. They're selling pretty darn well. As soon as that goes there, that'll show up in the showroom. There we are, the New Jersey Road Rage Special. People are buying it. I mean, if you start charging too much, it'll take forever for cars to be purchased. But as your competitors get up in tech, they'll start offering better cars that you now have to make your cars spiffier to compete with. All right, how are we doing on research? Because there's one other type of research we can do, and that is technologies. These are things that you can. These are what you can put into the car to make them more attractive, fetch a higher price, compete against the other cars. This makes them, now that's granted, this can add to your length of things because that's one more thing you need to put into the car to make it work and to make it a car, but it's still pretty darn good. Let's take a look at our profits here before we end our episode here. So the income of all time, 558K, not too bad. Our expenses, well, I mean, we had some setup pricing here. Prices, loans. So our profits of all time, we're still in the hole of all time, but past 24 hours, we're still losing some cash, but I've been doing a lot of building here. We'll sell more cars soon enough. There's our production stats. Yeah, slots running, vehicles running. We still have a lot of time waiting for the next vehicle. But again, that's kind of overrepresented by this cluster here, that they're all dragging the average down because they're waiting for the next vehicle here. But this isn't too much in progress. That being said, getting extra robots rank 2 wouldn't be a bad thing, or maybe just biting the bullet and breaking out Fit Body. Either way, you got a lot of strategic. Rival companies have researched cruise control. This tech is now rare. Yeah, the more companies that have the same tech, the less valuable it becomes, and the more consumers expect it as a standard feature. As you can tell, this is a little bit further back in car technology. I mean, we even have to research freaking air conditioning. So these are kind of older timey cars that just happen to look modern. All right, folks. Well, I hope you guys like this little taste of production line. So if you guys like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback's always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya.